Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dota 2 Canada Weekly Cup, sponsored by Xfire. I am your host, Wolf Dota, and joining me today is Ikrub. How's it going? Assuming he's around. If not, that's going to be a little bit awkward. Oh, looks like he's away from the computer, so I'll have to introduce himself in a moment here when he gets back. But we've got Dream Team Peru going up against Together We Did It. And Dream Team Peru, they started off with a Death Prophet, Doom, and Terrorblade bans as well. Or sorry, and Together We Did It, they banned out the Tidehunter and the Vengeful Spirit. The first pick overall was a Faceless Void, and then into a Jakiro Skywrath, followed up by the Ogre Magi. Deuce, then banned out by Together We Did It, and now you guys are all caught up. How's it going? Back, or are you just faking me out here?
10 seconds to go.
Looks like my partner's having some connectivity issues.
Yep, sorry, we just made it back. I was grabbing food.
Not a problem. Just as a heads up, there's a little bit of bleed coming through. Got your headset plugged in, or are you using speakers?
Nope, it's a headset. Here, let me turn this down a little bit. Is that doing okay now?
10 seconds.
Yeah, it should be fine. I turned myself down a little bit, so people have to turn the whole thing up, hopefully, and should be all right now. But we'll have to see. Witch Doctor banned out as well as the Silencer from Dream Team Peru, so I think that's a pretty good call. Anytime you see a Silencer ban, you want to get rid of something with a big channel. So Enigma's the next one left out for them, so we'll have to see if Dream Team wants to take that. But Together We Did It. They've got a decent support combo so far. I really like the Faceless Void pick grab, though. I think he's just such a strong hero. I mean, he's got a giant FU button, and like, what do you do against that?
Plus his right clicks. He's not just there for his ultimate. He can also deal a lot of damage even outside of the ultimate. So definitely a strong pickup from Dream Team Peru.
That said, I do like the Wraith King pickup. It's probably going to be a core Wraith King, which is fine, but it's going to get kited around fairly well by the Viper as well as the Ogre Magi, what with his Ignite slow and all the slows coming up from the Viper in general. So he'll need his Skywrath Mage to slow them and the Jakiro to hold them in place and whatnot. The next couple cores will have to be ones with control as well. For Together We Did It. But I think that's a really good call, because now that means they can't chrono kill the Wraith King. And Timbersaw is going to be the next pickup. That's a good call. Pure damage is very good against the Viper, as well as a lot of magical damage can quickly bring down a Void. Throw the Chakrams into the...
Plus the slow...
Go ahead.
Yeah, plus the slow coming from that Chakram, giving a little bit more control, and the huge amount of chase that comes from the Timber Chain.
As well as, I mean, Ogre's the tankiest one here, but Viper relies a lot on his magic resistance, and so Timbersaw's not really going to care about that. Plus, they have Ogre Magi, but his stun is a lot shorter range, and Viper doesn't have any stuns, and as long as Faceless Void doesn't bash, Timbersaw should be able to get in and out of these fights fairly well. Plus, he can throw the Chakram into the Chronosphere, into the Chronosphere, and deal damage that way.
Yeah.
Looks like we're just waiting for a Dream Team to come up with their final pick of the second phase. Be up here in a moment here. They're burning through a little bit of the reserve time, but that's all right. They've got a fair bit left for the last 3 picks and bans combined.
One thing that Together We Did It could pull off here, you mentioned probably a core Wraith King, but they could swing Skywrath into more of a core role, and Wraith King could still be playing that semi-support role that we've seen him in before. And it really just depends on where they line these heroes up.
With as far as the lanes go, I'm assuming it's just going to be a safe lane Void, mid Viper. Hey, Dream Team Peru, they're probably trying to figure out what kind of an offlaner they want to get. Unfortunately, the Tidehunter's banned out. Centaur's still in the pool. Bristleback, I think, is really strong right now. I'm not sure why none of these North American, South American teams ever pick it up, but he's been played quite a bit in China recently, and he does a lot of work. That said, they've been usually pairing him up with a Wisp, which, I mean, they still could, but you add a Wisp to the Bristleback, and he's just so hard to kill. Get off so many quills, but I'm just not sure what they're going to be doing here. looks like some of the Twitch chat recognizes Together We Did It. So quick little shout out to Twitch chat and everybody who's tuning in to watch and support the tournaments. Whether you're in between games, I've either been eliminated yet, or waiting for a game to finish or something like that. Thanks for tuning in and enjoying this. Looks like they're gonna go with the Shadow Demon. Go ahead.
What do you think they'll be running this Shadow Demon as?
Well, I mean, I assume it's gonna be a support, but I think this opens up a. They're gonna have to watch out for like a Mirana coming out, because they could go aggressive with a Shadow Demon Mirana, Ogre kind of thing, and then like run the farming Mirana and then Ogre Shadow Demon just as the two supports, and
yeah, Faceless gets his offlane farm and Viper takes mid.
They could put Faceless Void in the, because right now we don't know who the mid lane is gonna be for Together We Did It, so if. Depending on who the mid lane is, you can run... If it's a melee mid, I think Void should be okay there. Up against a Timbersaw, I think it'll be kind of tough. He'll need to probably go a lot in backtrack and time walk. But he could solo lane up against a Timbersaw. It'd be a little difficult, though. But I was meaning like they could go an aggressive tri lane with an Ogre, Shadow Demon, Mirana. Looks like they're going to ban out the Ember Spirit. So interesting choice there. But I wouldn't be surprised to see a Mirana pick here. Or... somebody else with a setup stun like the Shrek is an option. Well, it's a little harder, but I have to wait and see.
10 seconds to go. 5 seconds.
And Templar Assassin must ban. Go ahead.
I'm kind of surprised Together We Didn't ban out that Mirana, because she's known as such a good combo with that Shadow Demon, and a Shadow Fiend picked up from Together We Did It.
Yeah, you know what? They're gonna go with Centaur, and you know what? Centaur Shadow Demon still works really well, as you can time it so as soon as they come out, they get stomped or hit by the Ogre stun. Like, there's a lot of good stuns to combo with, and Shadow Demon does not need to be with the Mirana. He's just one of the heroes that I think is very good with Zed Mirana. But either way, we'll have to wait and see. We've got the second game coming out today, well, at least second game for me to cast. We've got Together We Did It going up against Dota Team Peru. And I will quickly run through the Together We Did It lineup. We've got Virus on the Skywrath Mage. Asu is going to be playing the Wraith King. Hexing is going to be on the Jakiro. Manning the Timber Saw, we're going to have Jipples. And last but certainly not least, on the Shadow Friend, we've got Taku.
And up on the Radiant side, in the mid lane, we are going to see Dream Paradise playing this Viper. We're going to see DTP Noza playing the Centaur Warrunner. Looks like he's going to be headed off lane top. Maybe more of a supporty kind of thing. We'll see Zadinks on this Faceless Void. And in the tri lane, joining him in the bottom, Ogre Magi will be played by Rixd. And finally, rounding out the team on Shadow Demon is going to be Kyra.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to go an aggressive lane with the Void, which I don't think is a terrible thing, but it's... I don't know. It's a little interesting. I think Centaur is gonna have a harder time up in an offlane up against a Timbersaw than a Void would, just because the Timbersaw, just because of the way his Whirling Death works, reducing his maximum health, and Centaur is incredibly reliant on that. So we'll have to wait and see how that works out. But looks like a nice early ward here coming up from it. Together We Did It. Gonna be able to see what's coming their way, so they have a bit of a heads up. Timbersaw gets a nice job picking up that offlane rune as well. Curious to see how the Shadow Friend does up against the Viper. If he gets a handful of souls early, I think he'll be in a pretty good spot, but a little bit tough. Viper is going to be very good at zoning him out. But it is going to be a Wraith King Skywrath Jakiro lane, which Wraith King and Skywrath Mage is such a good combination, just because Wraith King's stun is perfect setup for Skywrath Mage's ulti. It's the 2-second stun and then into the 2-second slow is so good. Yeah.
Plus, they could line that up with Jakiro's Icy Path and, absolutely wreck some people.
Mm-hmm. Up in the mid lane, Taku's having a bit of a rough start here. He's already got 2 souls. So he's starting to get some of that damage built up here. Actually going to have a Skywrath Mage rotate in and start harassing back the Viper. Give him a bit of a hand here. I think is an alright call. As they realize that there's not going to be a whole lot they can do up against this lane. There's the Ogre and Shadow Demon Void. The amount of run at them the run at them strats is really strong with that team, so Scarlet won't be able to do a whole lot. They're just going to secure the early game for the Shadow Fiend. Fair bit of damage coming out.
It looks like Together We Did It was able to take out the ward that was sitting here on top of that ruin. You know, just denying PvP of some of that, you know, jungle vision plus that ruin vision, the map control that's so important early game.
So they don't have any vision of the top rune either, so they're not going to be sure where the bounty rune spawned or where the action rune has spawned. So if they get a lucky haste or a DD or something along those lines, they'll be able to quickly clean up a kill or two as well. But Wraith King, he's having a pretty tough time here, and I'm not too surprised. Very easy for them to zone him out. A disruption into the Fire Blast as well as Faceless Void. Time Walk slow. Just very hard to deal with. Scarlet Mage has rotated through as well. You can see Liquid Fire come out, but that's not going to do a whole lot to Void. We'll backtrack that fairly easily.
If we take a look in the top lane, we see an extremely aggressive Timbersaw, really diving hard, you know, not quite hitting under this tower, but he's going pretty far in order to secure himself some of the farm that he needs.
And this Centaur's got to be very careful. Timbersaw, once he gets a point up in Timber Chain, we'll be able to do a lot of work on him. Oh, we're actually going to see a rotation coming into the mid lane onto Taku. Fortunately, not able to get in range for the Ignite or a Fire Blast disruption. Shadow Demon is just a little bit too far away. Taku's going to be alright. And he's got himself 13 souls secured, so he's got his lane somewhat secured and a bottle for himself now, so be alright with that. Actually, looks like he's going to bottle Crow once. But Viper is leading him in last hits though, 15-4 up against his 9-4, but it's still, Shadow Demon will eventually come online. Hard Pressure's getting those first couple souls. And it looks like they're going to rotate back into their aggressive tri-lane. Asu is going for the stats Wraith Fire Blast build. I think it's alright. It makes him very tanky, hard to deal with. They're going to throw out a stun. They're going to look to go as well. Oh, nice Ice Path coming out. They're actually going to look to turn this onto the Shadow Demon. They're going to need 2 more clicks. 1 more hit from the Jakiro. That's going to be your first blood. Scarlet Mage off to the side is looking to run away. They've got another stun cooling down in a moment here. They're going to throw it out on the Ogre Magi. They should be able to kill him. Ice Path connects. Very nicely done. Fortunately, they don't have any other stuns, and Void's going to be able to leap away. And just like that, they go on to Wraith King, who's very tanky, has a Pro-Mad shield. And I mean, they're not able to bring him down in time, and he's able to turn around some very solid Ice Paths coming up from Hexing. And now this aggressive tri-lane is in a lot of trouble. They've gave up their first blood as well as a secondary kill, and gonna have to hard to recover from it.
That's definitely a really big early double kill going in favor of Together We Did It there.
I'm wondering almost if they shouldn't rotate. They shouldn't rotate either the Ogre or the Shadow Demon, probably the Ogre Magi, into the jungle and start him like stacking or something, and pulling for the Centaur just to try and clean up some farm elsewhere. And it looks like, while that was going on, we oh man, kills all over the place. I was gonna say the Viper dropped in the mid lane, and Timbersaw, unsurprisingly, was able to clean up the Centaur. He's quite weak to the Whirling Death damage. Timber Chain and Chakram is just too strong.
Plus, yeah, Timbersaw got a pretty quick 6 there and was able to take him out with that Chakram.
Shadow Demon looks like he's just cleaning up some jungle, so he's farming quite well. He's already got 28 souls. Man, he hits hard early. And oh, but I think they need to rotate one of the supports out of this. Oh, we have a DC from the Timbersaw. It looks like no one's paused yet. Hopefully someone on his team catches that pretty quick here. But I'd like to see one of the supports rotate up into the jungle and start stacking.
There's the pause.
Yeah, now it comes out. Looks like they didn't realize it at first. He's probably screaming at them in team chat. whatever they're using for talking to each other. But a little bit unfortunate there. Hopefully he'll be back in a moment or two. But if we take a quick look at the
5 minutes in
farm.
this game.
Go ahead.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I was just going to comment. Together We Did It. We do see him taking a pretty early lead, but it's nothing too significant, and DTP can definitely come back from this rough beginning.
Jipples in the offlane is actually leading the last hit chart, which is not something you want to see on the enemy's offlaner. He's gonna be really happy with that. He's got mana boots as well as a soul ring at 4 minutes in. Sorry, 5 minutes in, almost 6, and he's actually beating the offlane Void, part of a tri lane. Shadow Fiend is doing quite well in the mid lane as well. He's third on the overall chart. The real loser of the laning phase, though, seems to be this farming Wraith King, who's having a pretty tough time, but his mid and his offlane are getting a lot of farms, so they'll be able to create some space for him shortly, let him catch up. Looks like they're going to go in the mid lane onto the Viper. They need a handful more... Oh, one more raise, and that was enough to drop him down. Shadow Fiend picks up that kill. Yes, he does. And that's another kill going on the mid lane Viper. So far, together we did it, taking a commanding lead. 5-0 for them up against Dota Team Peru.
You know, we did see this roaming Ogre Magi and Shadow Demon try and rotate mid to, you know, counter that gank on that Viper, but they just didn't show up soon enough. They weren't able to react, and unfortunately their team paid for it.
Yeah, neither of them having a TP, none of them really having the gold to buy them. I mean, they have a little bit of gold, but they don't have the Oh, Timber Chain coming out from the Timber Saw, not able to get away. He's going to be able to turn it and get a kill. Actually gets disrupted. Now he's got a chain up. They don't have a stun for him. He's going to make the long chain away. Jipples with the plays there. Here, maybe a little bit of a misplay from the Shadow Demon, but they needed to hold him down. It's unfortunate that they couldn't get the disruption off as he chained and put it on cooldown. But being on a 4-second cooldown and being in the disruption for 2.5 seconds, it's pretty quick. It was a very nice play from Jipples.
Actually, it almost helped him get away because it allowed that cooldown from that Timber Chain to come back up, so he could sneak away like that.
Because he had gotten stunned out from the Centaur, so and wasn't able to Timber Chain again for a moment, but a little bit unfortunate there.
But it's just a 4-second cooldown though, so you know,
he might have been good either way.
Did buy him just enough time.
Yeah, but it was a very nice chain. That was a long chain too. He hit a tree quite a ways away and kept his cool. Didn't feed. As you tell so many offlaners, just go there and don't feed. Okay.
Yep.
Just don't feed. He's doing anything but feeding though. He's actually sitting, like I said, maybe he's not top on the net worth chart, but he is he's quite a ways up there. He's actually second. Shadow Fiend is sitting up at the first. I think he cleared up a stack or two, or just a couple of this camp a couple times, but he's level 8 and has a DD rune bottled. Got his Gloves of Haste on the way. And he's got a Midas on the way as well. But we're gonna look to go. They've got a disruption on the Wraith King, and they're actually gonna be able to turn it on the Ogre. Shadow Demon with a DD rune hits very hard. And are they gonna get away? Nope. Void's gonna leap away, and I don't think they have anything to slow this down. Holy crap! Those Shadow Fiend hits. Wraith King Fire Blast gonna be able to clean him up. Shadow Demon throws out a raise, not gonna connect anything, but quickly cleans him up. And now he's got his Midas on him. They could probably just push this. He's got half the time on the DD rune. If they want to go aggressive, they can. Stampede in the mid lane. Looks like Centaur using it defensively to get away from the big bad Timber Saw. And well, on a very one-sided early game / laning phase coming out for Together We Did It. And this has to be a very strong
They're
team.
absolutely dominating. 9 kills in 9 minutes. They're also looking at a 5k XP advantage, a slightly over 5k gold advantage. Together We Did It. It's definitely their game to lose at this point.
They're taking an early win. Oh, Ignite's going to come out. Not going to do a whole lot for that Jakiro, though. Not going to be able to quite get him. And one of the problems they've been having is their supports. Ogre's got brown boots now, but before he didn't. It was, unfortunately, like, someone's having some issues on, Together We Did It. Not too much of a pause, though. Probably just somebody's lagging or something. Would be my guess. We'll have to wait and see. He's got. I think he's gone the correct build for the way this game's turning out, especially with the amount of farm he's getting. He went a bunch of points in stats and Wraith Fire Blast, not bothering with the Vampiric Aura. Value point in Mortal Strike just for that chance for a little bit of bonus damage. But I think he'll be alright. He's probably saving up for a Blink Dagger, I would imagine. Looks to get a little bit aggressive. That way he can initiate, and then Shadow Fiend can just kind of walk in behind him with the raises as well as his right click. Interestingly enough, he didn't scale up Requiem, which I can understand as you get more damage. Like it's level 1, it's okay. It's a very long cooldown. Costs a lot of mana, and if you're throwing out raises constantly, it's better to have the mana to throw out maybe 1 or 2 more raises than it is to throw out the Requiem usually early. Get max Requiem.
Yeah.
But one of those things we'll have to wait and see. Not sure what's going on with Together We Did It, but hopefully they will. Yeah, Paradise is throwing out the question marks. He's a little bit confused.
Together We Did It's not even sure. You know, at this point, he's been away for a while. His cat might have been on fire or something like that. Gotta put that out. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, cat's on fire. Fell on the computer. Got burning. Tail cotton fan. Having a problem. Either way, they're back underway, and mid lane looks like nothing's gonna happen. Both teams are gonna walk away. Mersan's gonna throw out the Whirling Death, grab a handful of last hits, and gonna look to go. Void's still not level 6. Doesn't have that Chronosphere yet. And I mean, even right now, if he throws out a Chrono, I don't even know, he wouldn't be able to kill anyone. He'd need a lot of help coming out from the Shadow Demon. He'd need a Soul Catcher and a handful of Shadow Poisons, as well as a Fire Blast coming out, and that's just to kill the Jakiro. Thought the Skywrath would be a little bit easier. Skywrath, of course, has very little armor. But looks like they're going to look to go into Centaur. He's silenced up, going to eat a raise, and the servers start lagging a little bit for me anyway. Hopefully the teams are alright. Centaur does drop in the mid lane. It doesn't look like maybe the players aren't getting anything. It might just be on our end, so hopefully everything's alright with them. But
that was definitely a solid gank coming from the Skywrath Mage plus the Shadow Friend. They were able to snag down a couple raises and drop the slow.
And he got the Ancient Seal off very quickly as well, which prevented Centaur from stampeding away. But looks like they're gonna look to go. They've got 4 heroes down here. Probably gonna be able to find this Jakiro. He's gonna throw an Ice Path, connects onto 2. Rotations are coming in. Stampede as well. Disruption comes out at a very unfortunate time. Timbersaw is rotated in, looking to finish off the Viper. Does finish it off. Jakiro's still alive, and now they're looking to turn it away. We got a nice Mystic Flare. He's gonna bring down the Ogre Magi. Faceless Void's dropping very low. He does have his leap. It's not going to be up in time. And that's going to be a quick 3 for nil. Excellent rotations coming out for the side of Together We Did It. Uh-oh. Kira, he's kind of in a bad place. He's going to get hit by an Ice Path, and he's going to go down. That's going to make it a 4-0 exchange. And so, excellent team fight coming out from Together We Did It. They rotate well to each other's call for help. And probably be able to take this tower off of that. Meanwhile, Shadow Fiend in the mid lane, he's going to be able to take that, and he's now picked up Boots of Travel. So, this is going to be real. Oh, he's going to be able to get onto the Centaur. Misses the first raise, doesn't get the second one off. Centaur's going to have to be careful, though. He's not necessarily faster. Maybe he is. Looks like Shadow Fiend's not too worried about it, though. Unable to land that first Requiem and didn't want to chase it. Which is fair, you don't want people to rotate in on you, but... Okay. Timbersaw, that's a Bloodstone recipe already, and he's only 200 away from a Bloodstone. Jeez, holy crap!
13-minute Bloodstone, new meta.
Yeah, he's gonna be pretty happy with that, and it's gonna just allow him to be everywhere on the map. Haystern's bottom, so hopefully BTP will be able to get on the board with this, and one of the things they're way behind as far as experience and gold goes. Like 10,000 at 12 minutes, both experience and the gold. So they're pretty far behind. Viper goes down in the mid lane to a raise from the Shadow Fiend. Mega kill streak now on Taku. The Shadow Friend is strong. Gonna be pretty happy with that. But what I was gonna say is they haven't lost all their objectives yet. Shadow Fiend now picks up a Blink Dagger. They haven't lost, like, it's not like they're down all their towers yet, so they still have a chance. I think, as I say that, they lose their tier 2 mid, but what I was saying is you can find comebacks in defending in towers if you can bait the other team to diving too deep, right? So maybe we'll look to see something. Timbersaw with an aggressive chain. They see where he is. They ping him out. Faceless Void has a Chrono. He's dropping very low, though. Gonna have to get himself out of there. Throws out a Chrono just in time. Unfortunately, catches 2. And that's just gonna set up the Jakiro on the other team. Ogre Magi is gonna go down. Timbersaw, Jipples gets the kill. Skywrath Mage did go down. And then it's gonna be a Viper dropping to a Wraith Fire Blast. Shadow Shadow Demon throws Sword of Disruption onto the Wraith King, but it's not going to matter. Timbersaw gets a double kill and is now unstoppable. And that's a quick, brand new Bloodstone with 12 charges.
You know, this game just continues to snowball out of control in favor of Together We Did It. They're really doing it together, showing up for team fights as a team rather than, you know, just one person trying to snag a pick off here and there. And they've absolutely been dominating this game. 13 minutes in, we're already looking at a 19-1 scoreboard. Hero levels, Shadow Fiend is starting to snowball out of control. Timbersaw is pretty high up there. Wraith King is starting to get his farm as a core. You know, I really think that the Dire side is in trouble here, and unless they're able to snag a couple really good tower defenses, I just don't know if they have what it takes to take down Together We Did It.
Timbersaw is diving very deep, and this is what I mentioned. He's going to get hit with a Demonic Purge. Going to be able to Timber Chain away, though, as the bottom tower does go down. Looks like he's just zoning him out so Jakiro can finish off the tower. And the scary thing is, it's not like Together We Did It is going in with an all-in early lineup. They have a very good lineup late game. Timbersaw scales incredibly well. Jakiro can push towers well at all points in the game. Wraith King scales very well with farm. And, I mean, so does Shadow Fiend. It's really tough. And they have Midases on top of all this fighting they're doing. Both Shadow Fiend and Wraith King have a Midas, so it's starting to look pretty grim for Dota Team Peru. A little bit unfortunate, but we'll have to see how long these guys are willing to hold out. Their Chrono's not up for 20 seconds. I think they're just going to have to let this tower go. Timbersaw is single-handedly zoning out 4 heroes. He's going to get hit with a disruption, but that's just going to delay things. We're going to see a blink from the Centaur. Unfortunately, he got silent, so he couldn't stop hexing. Trading blows with him. He's going to go down in the end, but Shadow Demon goes down on the backside to the Timbersaw. Faceless Void is chasing this guy. Mage does get a bash. He's got a Chrono. Going to throw it out. Gets another bash. Cleans him up. Timbersaw is there, though. Huge Whirling Death. Trockham to follow up, and he gets the Timber Chain, kills the Void. He's got a triple kill and is now godlike. He's going to respawn instantly. Did he suicide? No, he didn't get the suicide off, but he instantly respawns. Wraith King has now gone in, gets a blink stun off onto the Centaur, and is now looking for the Viper. He's got his ulti, but they're going to back off. Timbersaw is actually rotated back in. Gets disrupted before he can get the chain off. Another stun comes out from the Wraith King. Timbersaw not going to help him out. Shadow Fiend's there, though. Gets a nice raise onto the Viper, and Timbersaw chases down the Shadow Demon. And he's back, recovered all his Bloodstone charges.
I can't tell. Are we watching like an all-random deathmatch game right now? They're just like diving for kills at this point.
Yeah.
We did it. Meanwhile, taking this tier 2 tower. This is crazy.
I mean, Jipples died, instantly respawned, bought Boots of Travel, and came back, and then got 3 more kills. Or was part of 3 more kills.
Together We Did It. Together We Did It is absolutely running away with this. They're seeing 15k gold lead, 16k gold lead, 15k XP lead. This is...
It's not great.
They can't come back from this. I'd say at this point, this game's basically over.
What's interesting is the Wraith King actually went for a Helm of the Dominator. So he's got the double lifesteal going on here. I'll be interested to see if he puts any more points in Vampiric Aura, but this Roche is going to be very easy for him to deal with. And I mean, he's got a Blink Dagger as well. Like, they're all so farmed. Shadow Fiend has 12,000 net worth to his name. He's got his Midas up in a moment here. He's got a Demon Edge, so probably going for a Daedalus, or maybe a either a Daedalus or a MKB. I don't think he's the Together We Did It guys are the kind of people who would go for a Rapier. Shadow Fiend's gonna blink forward, gets off a nice big Requiem. Doesn't kill off the Viper. That's the job of the Scarlet Mage. Nice Ice Path coming out from the Jakiro, though. Double kill going his way. One more raise. The Doves are going to finish off the Centaur. They're going to blink forward. Another stun onto the Ogre Magi. And Wraith King's going to get bashed, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't care. He's got a point up in his Reincarnate. And is more than ready to go at it. He's also got his Aegis as well. I think this is going to be the high ground push as the Timbersaw pushes down the top tower. He's got his BTs. He can rotate in if he wants to. He's kind of going all over the place. He's got a Blink Dagger now as well. This guy can be everywhere.
You know, going back, you mentioned that you don't think Together We Did It would be the kind of team that would go for that Rapier. And usually I'm a huge, you know, not a big fan of getting Rapier because it's about the only thing that can throw the game. But at this point, I don't even know if they could throw with a couple Rapiers. I mean,
you give, I think, Void has a Mask of Madness. You give a Mask of Madness Void a Rapier, he could start getting solo pickoffs on anyone on your team. Like, everyone but the Wraith King, I think. Even the Timbersaw would drop to that. So it'd be one of those things. Uh-oh. Void's gonna find the Scarlet Mage, gonna get the kill. Timbersaw's gonna look to clean it up, though Void's running very quick. Throws out a Chrono. Wraith King has a stun, hasn't quite used it yet. Timbersaw is standing very strong in the midst of 4 of them. Gonna get hit by my Viper. Throws out a Timber Chain. Meanwhile, he does drop. He's gonna respawn in a handful of seconds and can TP in. Wraith King not gonna chase the Void any further. Does have his Aegis and a Reincarnate still. Kind of in a bit of no man's land here. They're gonna find him. Gotta blink up in a couple seconds. He's probably starting to get a little worried here. He's gonna blink quite a ways away and TP out. They don't have any way to cancel it. Meanwhile, though.
Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Shadow Fiend is extending pretty hard here.
He's okay though. He knows where they all are. He's gonna blink away, and he's got a Daedalus on the way, so he's gonna be like the Shadow Demon is. I think is potentially going to get one shot by him in a moment. Like he's going to be critting for probably 500, maybe a little bit more, and then once he gets his next item up, it's just going to be
750.
Like, and I don't know, it's just not great.
He's already really scary, and if he throws that Daedalus down, he's going to be even scarier.
He's now hitting for about 260. Oh, Void's gonna leap in. Doesn't have a Chrono here. Gonna get a bash on the Scarlet Mage and gonna find him. Nice Macro Pyre as well. Shadow Fiend gets off a huge Requiem. That's gonna land on everybody. It brings 2 very low. So far it's... Oh, man, the crits! Oh. Shadow Friend lays down the law, and that's a quick 5 for 2 exchange. They lose their 2 supports, but they don't care. And Wraith King wasn't even in the fight. Him with the Aegis was just, you know, farming with an Alpha Wolf. He's not even worried about it. Shadow Fiend has now gone back, and I mean, if he's got a Helm of the Dominator himself now, so he's got a little tankier. But if he picks up something, oh, looks like someone. He gets something along the lines of a BKB or like an evade. If he gets a Talisman of Evasion, even, it's just they won't be able to go on him. I'll have to wait and see. Not to mention the amount of lifesteal he's gonna have. 15% from the helm, and then well, right now 25, but soon it'll be a total of 40. It'll be 40% lifesteal when everything's there. He's gonna heal himself up so much from the crits too. Boy.
You know, at this point, all 3 of Together We Did It's, you know, cores are extremely scary. This Shadow Fiend, he's just wrecking people. We've seen huge pickoffs and escapes coming from this Timbersaw.
Looks like they're going to go on the Faceless Void, but he's going to get Mystic Flared and Silence. He's dropping very quickly to the Macro Pyre. Still the Silence on him. He's going down. Centaur's going to look to go on the Timbersaw. Timbersaw does drop. Shadow Fiend gets put into the Disruption, but he's going to come back very quickly. Wraith King is now going onto the Viper. He's got a stun. He's going to throw it out here. Shadow Fiend with one big crit goes godlike, takes him out. Looking for another crit onto the Centaur. Not going to find it yet, but oh, one more hit and there it goes. No crit, but quickly takes him down. Timbersaw has respawned now thanks to that Bloodstone, and that's going to be a full wipe again. An ultra kill for the Shadow Fiend. He's got another 4k gold in the bank. I mean, this is probably just going to be a BKB. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see what he gets. Looks like he's not too worried about it. But either way, his team quickly clearing up the racks. I mean, credit to Dota Team Peru for not giving up yet. I mean, this is a best of 1 elimination, so they don't want to call it too early. It's not like they can regroup and come back next game. But oh no, the effigies aren't even safe. What did Shadow Fiend get? He's got an Eagle Song. Looks like he's gonna have a butterfly coming out to him in a moment here. Oh, Void leaps in, gonna get silenced up, and Ice Path, and he goes down very quickly as well. Timbersaw not gonna go forward, but Shadow Fiend's there, throws out a raise. Oh man, that crit! And that's gonna be GG coming up from Ogre. Taku, I can't even say it was just him, but his entire team, himself included, they ran away with this one.
42 to 9, 23 minutes into this game. Together We Did It absolutely ran away with this one.
And like, Jipples with his offlane play, getting a solo kill. Taku with the mid play had a bit of trouble early, but Virus, like, excellent rotations from him. Looks like somebody on DTP. Oh, Shadow Fiend does go down, not finishing off the game perfect. But I mean, this is just
Looks like there's some internal problems on DTP. Ogre's trying to call it GG. Someone
Yeah.
on the team is
Yeah,
is
I
trying
think.
to end.
Yeah, and
Mid tower could use a little help.
like, I don't know, a little bit of a bad manner not stopping the pause. Shadow Fiend goes down, but he had an incredible game. Not even worried about it.
Didn't make it.
Looks like Ogre's trying again.
There it goes.
Yeah, finally they let the game end, and that's going to be all she wrote. Together we did it. They with a dominant performance, and they've come very close to winning it in the past. I think they've won it once, won the weekly once, and they've come very close a handful of other times. Very strong team and very impressive play coming up from them. Happy to see them still doing well. Unfortunately, Dota Team Peru eliminated in the second round, but hopefully they'll be back next week and for the Dota 2 Canada Cup qualifiers. So we'll have to wait and see. But as always, I am Wolf Dota. Thanks for tuning in. Joining me was Ekrub, and we'll be back shortly with another game coming up soon.